Hey everybody, and welcome back. And welcome back to another edition of Saturday Morning Porch Talk. Now today I want to talk about retirement and how it's defined, how it's typically defined, and why so many people have such strong opinions about the definition of retirement and what it's supposed to look like. Now let me begin with this. Sometimes people will leave comments here on my YouTube channel that are quite contrary and critical about their definition of retirement and what they think retirement is supposed to look like for everyone else. And they'll say things like, well, if you're engaged in a side hustle on the side, then you're working, you're not really retired. Or if you set up a tent at a Saturday morning farmer's market and sell anything, then you're working, you're not really retired. Somebody has even said to me, well, if you're running a YouTube channel, then you're not retired. And then, of course, there's the old standard, well, unless you have $1 million or $2 million, you can't possibly be retired. Now, I'm very astonished at how narrow this line of thinking is and how critical and opinionated people really are about the definition of retirement and what it's supposed to look like for everyone. And I know their thinking is influenced by those shiny retirement brochures that you'll find in a financial planner's office, as well as the financial advisor's opinions, whose interest is to keep you working as long as possible so that they can continue to manage your money. But here's my definition of retirement. It's just mine, and this is how I live it, but my definition of retirement is this: being able to escape the rat race so that I can do whatever I want to do. Now that's a good definition for me, and it works for me. Being able to escape the rat race so that I can do whatever I want to do. And you know what else? Retirement for you is whatever you say that it is. That's the beauty of this. You get to define it. You get to call the shots as to what your retirement is. Your retirement is exactly that. It's your retirement, and it doesn't matter what it looks like compared to anyone else's retirement. For instance, if somebody has a bucket list and they want to spend their remaining years traveling and checking items off their bucket list, that's wonderful. On the other hand, if somebody else would like to engage themselves in an encore career in their late 50s or early 60s, that's fine too. They get to make that decision for themselves, and it doesn't invalidate their retirement. Now, of course, there will always be people who say if you're doing any kind of work, then you're just not retired. Well, says who? Them? The tooth fairy? Who cares what anyone else says? I say if you get out of the rat race and you're calling the shots for your own life, then retirement is whatever you say that it is. It's very liberating when you stop comparing your retirement to somebody else's retirement, or when you realize that retirement is not a narrow slivered definition. And I'd like to suggest that every one of us rethink our retirement and just do what's in the best interest of ourselves, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Now that's what I did. Before I retired, I gave a great deal of thought as to what I wanted my remaining years to look like, what I wanted my 60s to look like, what I wanted my retirement years to look like. I gave a great deal of thought as to what I wanted those things to look like, and I did it by resisting conventional wisdom. Nobody else gets to define that for me, and nobody gets to define your retirement for you either. One of the biggest surprises that I discovered in my retirement is how wonderful it is to be completely unplugged from everything. I mean unplugged. And I don't mean being unplugged from the internet. I mean being unplugged from the rat race, demands, commitments, deadlines. I mean being unplugged and disconnected from the expectations of other people. Being unplugged from the comparison trap. You know, people live their entire working years comparing themselves to others. We carry that mentality into our retirement, but when you get to retirement, the comparison should stop. You do you. I'll do me. That's what all of us should do. You should do you And that's what makes life most enjoyable, right? And another thing that I discovered in my retirement is how wonderful it is not to fit myself down into a mold or a definition that somebody else has tried to define for me. And what a wonderful feeling it really is. And by the way, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Ronnie, and thanks for stopping by. If you think you'll like the content here, be sure to hit that thumbs up button that you'll find down below, and feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you join our online community right here at Ronnie Christian, A Resilient Life. Well, the beauty of retirement is there is no one size that fits all. And that's just the truth. There is no one size or one definition that fits all when it comes to our individual retirements. If you want to do volunteer work in your retirement years, you get to do that. If you want to do a deep dive into your hobby, you can do that. And then if your deep dive into your hobby begins making money for you, then what's not to like about that? And just because your deep dive into your hobby begins to earn money on the side, it doesn't mean that you suddenly became unretired. Who says so? Who says that you become unretired if you're making money on the side? Not me, not someone else. They may try, not some internet troll, and not some financial advisor with a shiny retirement brochure sitting in his desk office. If you work yourself towards financial independence so that you can get out of the rat race and you're calling the shots in your own life, then your retirement years are whatever you say they are. And who cares what anyone else says, right? Now, some people in their retirement years like to take on something that I call recreational employment. Now, recreational employment is something that you do purely out of enjoyment, or you do it purely for the joy of it. Plus, it keeps you busy a few days out of the week, and the extra money helps pad your savings account. What's not to like about that? And your recreational employment could be a retirement hobby that has turned into a money maker. It could be something that you've always wanted to do your entire life, but you were unable to do during your working career. But now that you have retired and got out of the rat race, you have the luxury of choosing what you want to do. I've always thought how fun it might be to be a tour guide at a national park, or maybe in a museum. Or maybe you're an artist who now can sell your paintings on the weekends. Or maybe you've been a lifelong musician while you worked at a job, but now that you have retired, you can play on weekends and earn a little extra money. The point being, when it comes to recreational employment, you don't have to work. You just choose to work for your own personal enrichment. Myself, I don't work anymore for money now that I've retired. I spend my time in full-time pursuit of my hobbies and my interests while I'm focusing on my health and personal development. I have a large garden out back that I get a great deal of enjoyment out of. In fact, I grow a garden year-round. It's a seasonal garden. I grow a fall garden, a winter garden, a summer garden, as well as a spring garden. And my wife and I get a great deal of enjoyment out of that. I spend time in the gym about 4 or 5 days out of the week. My wife and I love to go canoeing, hiking, take short day trips. We take picnics to the beach. I started this YouTube channel about 4 months ago, which is something I immensely enjoy. I live here in North Florida, and the weather is good here most of the year, all the year round. As you can see, this morning is a nice fall morning here in North Florida. The temperatures this morning were about 58 to 60 degrees when we woke up. It's in the mid 70s right now. I'm spending time here on my front porch. It's fantastic. And now that I'm retired, I have full autonomy. I have control of my time. And I'm living at a much slower pace than I was whenever I was working full-time, something that I immensely enjoy. In other words, I'm living my life on my terms, and that's all that matters. What anybody else has to say about it doesn't matter at all. Some people want to get rich so that they can live the high life or to live a high lifestyle in retirement. Fine. If getting in jets and zipping around appeals to people, that's fine. If buying a $400,000 motorhome and traveling the country appeals to people, that's fine. I get it. But now me, I just want to have enough money and financial independence so that I can get out of the rat race, which I have done, and live comfortable doing whatever I want to do. And that's exactly what I do. And now that I've done it, I'm able to live at complete peace for my remaining days. Listen, it doesn't matter if you have $100,000 or $500,000 or $1 million for your retirement, or if you have only Social Security, and that's enough for you to make it because you're also living mortgage free. If you're able to live the kind of life that you wanted to live, then that's all that matters. The amount of money that you have to get there does not matter. All that matters is that you're able to live the kind of life that you want to live in your remaining years. So there's no need for any of us to compare our retirement lifestyle with anyone else's, is there? You do you, I do me. We all get to choose what our retirement is. And I say, if you can get out of the rat race and you're calling the shots for your own life, then retirement is exactly what you say it is. And that's all that really matters. Well, that's all for now. I've hoped you found this video encouraging, because Lord knows we need some encouraging guidance as we plan for our retirement, because there's so many opinions out there and shiny brochures as to what a conventional retirement is supposed to look like. And that's not the only way that retirement is defined. You get to define it for yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. You can also share this video with others who you believe might benefit from it. And if you'll do that, I thank you in advance. I'm Ronnie. Take care, and we will see you next time.